Let's take it way back for a moment. What if the same social skills you used at primary school are the secret to growing your personal brand online? Ta-da! That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's break it down, right? When you're at primary school, your mum or someone wise told you to be nice, say hello, share, don't be nasty, don't ignore people, and make everyone feel welcome. Those are the basics, okay? That's how you build friendships. And it takes effort, and sometimes it can be really hard. But you know what? As adults, some of us lack some of those skills as well. And today I'm going to tell you that you need those skills and you need to transfer them to personal brand building. So we're going to break it down. We're going to make it really easy. So how to engage with other people online, how to be seen, and how to make people want to stick around with you and your personal brand. Okay. So you know what? Like networking doesn't have to be gross or overwhelming. Actually, that's what we're talking about right now is this is called networking. It's just about showing up, building relationships, and using your natural connections in a way that feels right and fits for you. Okay. Well, welcome to Mum with a Side Hustle, our weekly live call. It's so great. I always appreciate the mums who turn up in the Zoom room. We've got Karen, we've got Laura, and we've got Jade here today. They all have three completely different side hustles, which is so fun. We've just enjoyed getting to know each other, encouraging each other with our side hustles this year. So that's what Mum with a Side Hustle is about. We're here to help encourage you to build a business that brings you joy and not stress. And this year we've been focusing on building a personal brand, which is something I didn't know a lot about and I needed to learn. So I thought, what better than to learn it with others? So if you're here with us on Facebook, please leave a comment so that we know that you are here. If you are joining us on YouTube, I would just so appreciate a little comment so I knew that you had watched it. You could even hit that subscribe button so that we can keep getting more awesome content out. But this is a space where mums can support other mums in business. And I think it needs to be a space where we can start dreaming into what seems impossible, but into the future of what it is that we want to create with our businesses, what we want to change for our families. That's why we have a side hustle. Otherwise, we would just not. We would just focus on what we're doing. But all of us have this passion and this desire to build something that's going to add value to our lives. And so, yeah, that's what Mum with a Side Hustle exists for. Okay, I've got an opening question today. The opening question is this. So if you're ready, you can answer it. If you had one extra hour this week to work on your side hustle, what would you do with it? And this is a perfect question for Jade because she has not got 1 hour this week. And she's probably I'm stirring my glass of honey water because I'm nursing myself back to health, full health. What would you do with one extra hour? Karen, do you know what you would do?
I probably would fix a painting that came back to me that needed it got damaged and I offered to fix it. So yeah, I probably would do that. I actually did put it on my list of things to do today. Whether or not I actually do it is another thing.
Cool. That's an awesome thing to do. Anyone else? Laura, what would you do if you had one extra hour this week to work on your side hustle?
Wait, good question. I think it would just be map out a few more posts to do in the week.
Yeah, cool.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. Spend a bit more time.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, 1 hour is a lot of time. I feel like I could get so much done in 1 hour.
But the
It
hours go so
amazes
quickly.
me. Oh, it does go quickly. I think if I had 1 hour, I started dreaming into what we're going to do after this 8 week series. So I would probably spend a little bit more time working on that. Yeah, if I had one extra hour. Okay, I'm gonna have a throat lozenge because I'm already losing my voice and we're only 2 minutes into the call. Okay, but I wanted to show up today. Sorry about
But
the throat lozenge. Wanted to be here. I wanted to be here with you guys, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about. Okay,
I have an idea
so
how you could get 1 extra hour if you wanted to.
yeah, how's that?
So what I used to do is I had a student who wanted to learn to paint,
Mhm.
and I just said to them, look, you come over, I'll teach you to paint for 1.5 hours, and then you look after my kid for 1.5 hours. And I
Mm.
would get so much done in 1.5 hours. It was like my most productive time in the entire week. And yeah, this person learned to paint as well. So I did it for two separate students. And yeah, I didn't charge them anything, but they gave me free babysitting, which was so awesome.
I love that. I need to find someone who wants what I have.
Yeah. Yeah, a teenager who needs counseling or something.
A teenager who wants, yeah, gets a bit complicated if you're doing counseling and then you're babysitting their kids. I'm not sure if I could get
Mm.
away with that, but maybe there's something I have to offer that I can do in exchange. I love that idea, Karen. That's really good. Okay, so we're going to jump into networking. So first we're going to focus on why we should be doing it. Then we're going to talk a bit more practical. So let's go back to primary school again. Remember how you made friends. You know, if you sat next to someone, might have shared some of your snacks or played tag at lunch. It was all about those small moments, those small connections. And social media actually works pretty much the same way. So networking is not pitching. A lot of people get this wrong. They jump on Mum with a Side Hustle, they started a new business, and they kind of get given a script and told this is what you need to do. So they put a post on Mum with a Side Hustle. They don't tell us what their business is about. And they yeah, get crickets, nothing. Because they haven't connected and none of us know them, but none of us trust them. And so while I love and I want people to post about their side hustle, it has to be in a way that builds natural connection. And I think there's definitely ways to do that. And we're going to talk about that today. So people want to feel like people want to support people they feel connected to. And we need to do that. You know, when you've got more connections, you have more people. Like at primary school, if you've got more friends, then there's always someone to play with if someone's away. That was always my dilemma. I might have had one good friend, but if they weren't there that day, like you just felt so lost. How could it make such a difference, eh? You know, and if you have more friends, then you find cool things and you learn more stuff together. It is fun to have friends. And it's the same with social media. Like when people follow you or buy from you or share your posts, it's because they feel connected with you. And so we don't want to just be like putting stuff out there. We want to find a way of going backwards and forwards with people, connecting with them. And I've been on a bit of a journey with this, and I feel like I'm coming into a new season of excitement for the kind of connections I get to create with people because that feels more like what I wanted originally. But I sort of went down this long route of being the one who did the awkward pitch posts. And now I'm here and I'm feeling more like myself. So if I can shortcut that for anybody, I want to help you with that. Okay, so we're not just building connections. You know, if we're not building connections, is what I'm saying, we're missing the easiest way to grow. Okay. Just like making friends at school, you've got to start with small intentional interactions. And let's talk about how to do that. So here we go. If you're posting, but your engagement's a little quiet, you start wondering, am I doing it wrong? Is it even working? But it's actually quite normal. Okay. Although Karen just gets a whole lot of engagement. She's got a lot of love out there. A lot of love, Karen. Need a lot more posts so more people can love it. I think that your true character has done a lot of the work for you. Your genuineness and your love and your care for other people has done a lot of background work. And you will get to the stage where you've got new people coming in and you're going to need these skills. But for the people who already know you, I think that they love hearing from you on social media. Okay, so here's 3 practical ways you can do every week to connect with others. So first one is this. We want to be replying to our comments. And we also want to be sending like personal messages with intention. I love doing this with stories. I love replying to people's stories and just popping a little comment like, oh, I love that. Because I'm going from their story, they don't even know I'm watching, into their personal messages. Now they see my name. Now they see my face. They might go, oh, that girl's interesting, and click on I'm talking about Instagram here for a second. Click on my Instagram handle. I just think it's so funny having all these words. They might click on my Instagram handle and be like, oh, mum with a side hustle. What's that girl about? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, as we comment on stories, we actually become people in somebody's life, which is really, really exciting. And something I think we want to be doing is getting into people's little worlds. Okay, so the other thing you can be doing is commenting on people's like posts. So you could, instead of saying like, I love this post, you might want to go a little bit more meaningful. So you might want to say, I loved this about the post, or that piece really resonated with me. And if someone says it to you, like, I love your post, just something really general, you can come back, you can engage, like, well, what part really stood out to you? What did you like about what I said? Or what's your experience been with that? You could say something like, "Oh, my kids definitely keep me on my toes," if they're commenting in that realm. Or here, I've just got some ideas for you. I appreciate that. What's your biggest win recently? That means a lot. What's something that makes you feel amazing as a mum? So you can see how different types of posts might lead to different ways you can interact with people, and that's really exciting. This number two. So number one is replying to comments and personal messages, direct messages. Number two is this one: share other people's content, but add your own spin. And I did do this a little bit the other day for Kieran. I shared her post that she did on her Kieran Bloxham artist page. And I didn't just share it, I talked a little bit about Kieran. Now I'm thinking, Kieran, I probably should have talked about our history together. Like maybe that next time I see a cool post from you, I can do that. Kieran and I went to school together. She's just like growing so much in her art, and I just really love what she has to say. I could put something like that. So yeah. And in terms of how much shared content you want to do, because I don't think you want to be, as a personal brand, if you share too much of other people's content, that becomes your personal brand. And maybe there are people out there that their brand is just sharing other people's stuff. But I think for me personally, if I'm building a personal brand, building an identity, people need to be hearing from me. That's what they're going to tune in on. They're going to tune in on my posts and what I have to say and who I am and what I stand for. That's what they're coming to my channel, my profile, my business page. That's what they're coming for. So I'm probably going to aim for like 20 to 30% shared content. For me, that's like one a week, because I probably try and post 3 to 4 times, versus kind of 70 to 80% of your own content. So you want to balance that out. You could add your little take to it. So this post by Rita is gold. I found that her tip for lipstick helped me so much, for example. Or you could make it interactive. You can say something like, this post is great, or this idea is great. Have you ever tried it? And you could build on it. So this made me think of a personal story. I really loved it. And yeah, I don't want all my sharing posts, hey Pam, I don't want them all to be written the same way. I'm introducing them to my audience because of something that I connect with about it, and I think they'll connect to. So yeah, that's another great way of networking and building connections with others. And you can also, like, once you get someone who you want to share something with, you can try and find other ways to interact with them. And the algorithm will keep showing you their posts, which is quite cool. Pam, we're talking about building connections and networking with people on social media. So how to do that, which is really, really cool to sort of follow someone's journey and be part of that. And the more you comment, the more you get in their DMs with your little feedback on their stories, the more you share their posts, your name keeps popping back up. You're doing them a favor by promoting them, but you're also building some sort of trust and connection. They're like, oh, that mum with a side hustle girl keeps commenting and she's added valuable things and she's shared my post. What's going on in her world? And that builds like a back and forward, and I may even get into a conversation with her. And that will open up opportunities for me to serve that person that I've been sharing. If there's someone I don't already know, obviously I know Kieran and I've been sharing her posts for a while. Okay. Another thing you can do to grow your network is you can actually follow and engage with accounts that are in your space. So like for me, right, I can go to Instagram or TikTok and I can follow other mums in business. And this is really fun. I can comment genuinely on their posts and I can share their content to my stories, which I find I do a lot of that naturally. On Facebook, you can join groups that align with your niche. That's something I could work on a bit more. So like Kieran, you might have you ever joined many groups, Kieran?
I am a part of a couple of groups. I forget which ones they are because sometimes if you haven't interacted for a while, they fall down your feet. So at the
Yeah.
moment, one it's called like Ocean Resin Art because I wanted to get into doing some, resin pieces that look like the ocean. So
Oh.
I'm part of that group, and I think I follow quite a few artist pages just because I enjoy their stuff. But the thing is, if you don't follow enough groups, then Facebook just shows you all this random stuff. So my Facebook feed is pretty boring right now because Facebook just doesn't know what to show me anymore.
So how would you fix that? How would you personally fix that?
Well, I don't know because they just keep coming up with suggested content all the time.
Maybe if
So
you interacted with some posts that you did really like.
yeah, because I tend to press like on the ones that I like and sometimes
Yeah.
comment and things like that. But yeah, so
Algorithm's not working for
anyone,
you at the moment.
nah, Facebook is a bit irritating to be honest.
That can be annoying. Yeah, so and we've talked about this before. So you can add, like we just said, join groups that align with your niche. You can also add value before like promoting yourself. So in a group, one of the things I've heard of is adding a post, like a value post, like here's 3 things I've learned about personal branding. I mean, if one of you guys did that, I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. And then you've added value. And then people notice you in the group and they might start interacting with you. They might be like, oh, so what's your experience being with personal branding? And so then you've made a connection with that person. You might now start to follow them on social media. Could be, add them as a friend. That could be a new way to meet people. Or you could be the person who shows up with encouragement. Look around at who's posting things and find ways to encourage people, whether it's about their life, something they've posted about, or a picture that they've put up. So like showing up in other people's worlds, being other people focused, kind of summarizes all of these options of how to build networks and connect. The last one is YouTube. I didn't know this, but on YouTube, when people interact with your videos, it's like the algorithm loves it and it shoves it all the way to the top. So if anyone ever goes in there on these YouTube videos and you just leave a comment, then that like massively helps my brand. But then if you think about all the other YouTube videos you might watch, subscribing isn't going to hurt you. And leaving a comment isn't going to hurt you at all. And hitting the like button, like all of those things help the person who's building. And if you can help them, then you never know, they're going to come back and help you. Or just in general, your desire to help others, I think, attracts that same thing back to you. So yeah, every time you're engaging, you're showing people you exist and that you care. So yeah, curious to know what other people have been trying. Have you tried any of those ones, Kira?
Sorry, can you just remind me a little
So
tiny bit?
so what have you tried to interact and network with others on social
I
media?
found it a little bit easier on Instagram. I used to post a little bit more on Instagram, and I found that a lot easier. I don't actually know how to find the comments on YouTube anymore. I can't seem to find them or comment on anything on YouTube. It might just be the program that I'm using. But yeah, Instagram was quite cool. I met people on Instagram, well, not met them, but they did actually invite me to go to their farm and things like that, even because we just done the
Wow.
connection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
I would just
cool.
start commenting on like photographers' posts and saying how amazing they were and telling them why don't you like sell canvas prints or whatever because your photography is so great. And I don't know if they took me up on that or not. but yeah, and other people I encouraged, I just, they started to draw and I said how amazing it was and gave them a few suggestions. And then they started, adding watercolor when I said, oh,
Yeah.
wow, this will be amazing with some color. And then they actually started doing it and made some really
Wow.
cool paintings. So yeah, just chatting, getting on conversations with comments back and forth and things like that was pretty cool. So I probably should try and do Instagram again. I kind of let that one slide
Yeah.
because I found a few more connections on there, to be honest.
You still have that Instagram page?
Yeah, I just haven't posted on it since I
Well,
don't
you've got
know
a
when.
few things you've put up on Facebook recently. You could just, every few days pop one of those up and reactivate your account.
Yeah, I probably should do that. My problem with the Instagram is that everything's square and it really irritates me when you put like a rectangle photo on it and then it cuts the
Yeah.
sides off. So I have a whole lot more editing to put white edges on them to make it all the square ones fit and look good on the feed and things like that. So hence why I went to Facebook. But
Yeah.
probably
We were
need to
gonna
keep
have
it
we were
going.
gonna have a guest on today, and her Instagram is Love Thy Land, and hers is sort of like vertical. Is that the right word? Yeah. So go have a
Yeah,
look at
I had a
hers
look at hers.
because
It was so cool.
yeah, her once you click into it, they look quite nice. So that might be something to have a look at. How you doing,
Yeah.
Pam? It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
How are your girls today?
I've just gone to bed. They've been at having a play date with a friend of ours who live on a farm, so they've been out feeding ducks and chickens and yeah, doing all kinds of fun hands-on things. It sounds like they've had a ball, so
Oh,
hopefully they
that's so
sleep well.
cool. Yeah, I hope so. That gives you a few minutes. Cool. Okay, let's go into something that I think some people find hard. Actually, I think most of us find it hard, but it's how can we talk about what we have to offer? Okay, and how can we do it naturally? One of the biggest mistakes I made and have made is not actually talking about what I do or what I offer. And I know, Kieran, we sent you some homework last week and I saw you did it, which is so great. We encouraged Kieran to take one of her posts and just put a really simple call to action on it. But I just thought it'd be really good to talk about this. If you felt like someone's pitched you in the past and it felt awkward, sometimes it means they've actually missed a step along the way. They've missed that connection and they've led with their agenda rather than wanting to serve you. And so I've been thinking about some ways that I've learned to help me make an offer to someone as part of my communication on and off social media. So rather than leading with my offer, how to do that more naturally. The first thing is this: I've been learning how to reframe promotion as service. And this has really helped me because I love to help people. I'm a counselor by training. I've done programs in high schools for years. I've run leadership events. Like, if someone needs help, I love to be the person on the other end of that exchange. And so when I heard this idea of it's don't think about promoting yourself, think about serving other people. How can I serve and help this other person? I was like, yes, that is what I needed to hear. So instead of saying I have to promote my offer, you need to think about it more like someone out there needs what I've created. I'm helping them by letting them know it exists. So, what sort of problem does your product or service lovingly solve for someone? If they don't know, I just love Rita's lipstick. Her problem that she solves is lipstick that wipes off in 2 minutes, but she's got this long lasting lipstick. It solves a problem. And so unless she lovingly offers it to people in a natural connection way, they're going to miss out. And that's another question you can ask yourself. If you didn't share it, what would they miss out on? Pam, with the idea cooker, there are so many people with these ideas, right? And they want to start these businesses, but they really don't know how and they don't know where to get started. And so as you get to know people and you have a heart to serve them, which you 100% do, and I know when they do your course, they get like so much of you and so much of your help. Like letting them know it exists is not rude or pushy. It's just like, as the conversation gets to that point, if it's a good fit, you might say, well, I actually do have this course. Maybe it would be interesting to you. And then in the background, you've set up all your systems, which you have. You've got your funnel and your free course. And yeah, you've got such a great system already set up for that natural connection and for that offering. Have you had those conversations with people, Pam, where you've just sort of been talking to them and then you're like, well, actually, I do have something I can help you with?
Yeah, I have with a few, not with lots, but with a few. One thing that I find really helps is having that free resource, because that basically does enough of the selling for me. So I think, I mean, and I don't know how well it's working. Don't have heaps of people coming through at the moment, so I don't know. But I think having something like that where you're like, oh yeah, this is a space that I'm in. If you're interested in checking it out, I've got a free resource. I can send you a link. That is quite an easy conversation, because then like I'm genuinely interested in helping them and I have something I can give them without having to sell in a sense.
Yeah,
So it
that's so
makes it a
cool.
bit easier.
I feel like I've finally come upon what mine is. So this this time we've been doing this 8-week challenge. I've been doing a worksheet every time of tasks that you can do that match the Zoom calls, and I've been popping them in a Google folder. And so now when I connect with someone, that sort of something I can offer them. It's my free thing. We call that a lead magnet. If you guys haven't heard that word before, you really want to be thinking about a valuable lead magnet, something that you can really put forward. My dad taught me this thing years ago, and it's always stuck with me. He's like, when you meet someone, find something to compliment about them. And while that sounds a little bit different with what we're sharing, I think the principle is the same. My dad was teaching me to add value to someone else in some way, be generous, be open-hearted, and make them feel special and important. And when you have a valuable lead magnet like what Pam has, like what I've been slowly figuring out what my valuable lead magnet is going to be, you can be like, hey, like, here, have this for free. I'd love for you to enjoy it. And I think that's a great way to serve people. And like you say, Pam, like, your desire is for that to do the work for you, to do the selling for you, so you don't have to be all like pitchy, like. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the way that people have come at me is, their offer costs something all the time. And so I don't even know if I really want what they have, and they're asking me for money, but I just want to get to know them. And then as time goes on, I'm going to get excited about them and what they're doing, and I'm going to want a bespoke piece of art on my wall that Karen made me, for example, like, because I've spent time with Karen and I know her and I love what she does. So, yeah. Okay, so let's reframe promotion as service. How can I serve you? The second one is this: share sales, not sales copy. So people don't have to pitch to be effective. They just need to connect. So this is sort of a follow on from what I was sharing before. So let's share why we start our business. Let's tell people our transformation stories. Let's speak to us like a common struggle that someone is facing and how what you have can help. Let's reflect on what we've learned along the journey. Okay, here's the third thing that you might need to address to help you get out of the mindset that I can't talk about my offer and what I have. We want to think about the internal narrative, and this has been so real to me, because often the discomfort of sharing what you have to offer is more about what's going on in your head. So what will people think of me if I tell them that I'd like to do art for them? What would people think if I try to tell them that they could buy this lipstick? You could be thinking things like, I'm not an expert, or I'm not good enough to talk about this. There's other people out there who do this better than I do. And a lot of that might be going around your mind, and you might not want to share what it is that you have to offer. So you might want to start, first of all, recognizing what's going on in your mind. And then after that, you might want to come against some of those ideas. So you think about it this way. What values are you living out by starting your business? Go back to what your real heart's intention is. Okay? Because we get caught up. I'm just trying to get their money. Well, no, you're not just trying to get their money. You want to serve them and help them. And they might have a need that you can help them with. And this is why you're showing up and doing it. The next one is like, whose story am I living? Am I living their story or am I living my story? And what is it that I could break off my life so that I'm not confused anymore about why I'm doing this? I'm not trying to meet the expectations. I don't have to be an expert. They might not even be my fit. Who is my fit? Okay. And that's who you want to speak to. So let's get into our minds and figure out what is it that I'm believing and what is stopping me. And I know for me, I got to this point where I was really stuck. I was like, I couldn't get out of feeling like I was just being that annoying pitch person. And I wish that someone had said to me then, Alicia, just slow down, just connect with people, just say hello, just be the friendly person that you are, and you will have so many opportunities to share your offer and your business. Just wait and see. And now I have people who hear about Mum with a Side Hustle and recommend it to their friends and are asking for ways to connect. I had this happen yesterday. 2 different people were like, wow, like, how do I find out more about this? I was like, yay, that's what I needed. Like, but it all came out of me genuinely like turning up right here every week, serving, offering something that is from my heart so that I could connect with more people. So yeah, you are going to have to come against some of the narratives and the stories in your mind. And lastly, it is uncomfortable sometimes to share what you have to offer, but I want to celebrate you and I want to celebrate the courage that you are taking to put your story and who you are out there and what it is you have to offer people. Every single time you've done that, you are amazing. Like, you need to celebrate yourself because we fill our minds with the stories of how useless we are and how bad it is that we haven't shown up and how many people we've missed talking to. But we just don't stop to celebrate when you did reach out and connect with someone. You know, when you did share the opportunity with someone, and even if they said no, like, it's okay, you know, and it's normal to feel awkward when you're learning something new. It's called growth. It's called a learning curve. So let's all agree together that we're going to embrace the awkward, we're going to embrace the discomfort, and we're going to ride it out, and we're going to find out how we should do this. And I'm really happy to have a conversation with any of our mum tribe if they're struggling with those feelings of like, I just can't even open my mouth and share. You know, maybe we need to step back a few steps. Maybe we need to start with you just replying to some people's stories or comments and do that more regularly with intention to teach yourself that I'm showing up, I'm connecting. This is a great place to start. And as I grow, I'm going to be able to feel like it's a natural thing to want to serve people. So I've actually done something really, well, I think it's pretty cool. I've done something special for you guys, and I've created a document called Share What You Offer with Heart and Integrity. And this is a mini guide for mums who want to serve and not sell. So just in my process of researching, I found out some really great information. It goes through things like how to reframe selling. It helps you understand your personal, like the value of what you are doing and how you're helping someone. Has a few like soft kind of offer scripts, ways you can talk to people. So for example, if someone shares a struggle with you that fits with something you can help them with, you could say, I help people with this. And then you say like what your service is. Would you like to hear a little bit more about it in case that's helpful to you? So it's got a few nice kind of little ways that you could do that. It also has like a little way of explaining your offer, and then how to reflect when you feel blocked, and then how to practice in a safe space. So this is a really cool little document. It is available in the Google Drive, and if you would like to get that, then please follow the link on this video or somehow message me. I'd love to share that with you. I'd love to get you that free resource. And all of the every week that we have here, I have a worksheet for you so you can get access to that in our Google Drive as well. So here is a summary of what we've covered today. Networking is just like making friends in primary school. Small, consistent interactions build strong connections. Engage with people, be present, listen, hear their heart, and then you're going to watch your audience grow naturally. And I've been experiencing that, so I'm not just saying that. It genuinely is. It is happening. And I think it happens exponentially. Like you think it's just like 1 + 1 + 1, but I think 1 + 1 + 1, and then to the power of, and then in time that grows a lot faster. Secondly, we went over intentional engagement makes a difference. So how to engage through messages and stories and that sort of thing. And the last one is this: you have to tell people what it is that you offer. So when you've built trust and connection first, sharing your business can feel natural and not salesy. People can't say yes if they don't know what you do. Okay, as we're winding up, I would love to hear either if you could unmute or pop it in the chat. What's one thing that you would like to do from today's call? What's one little thing you're going to give a try of? And I reckon Laura wants to go first.
I was just typing. No, just the one thing that you've reiterated to me today from my self-discovery through my posting journey on TikTok is engage more. You just feel like you want to be a what do you call it? Like a backseat driver, but you actually have to yeah. I guess it just become you just have to grow for it. You have to grow into that new realm. For me, it's a bit weird, but like, yeah, I'm friendly in person, so why wouldn't I be friendly on social media with like-minded people? So
And
thanks.
if you think about it, Laura, like we met online.
Yeah.
So
Through a business. Yeah.
that's right. And through through people you trust and liked.
Yes.
That's how we meet. And so that's how our businesses grow is
Yeah.
as we have people who we like and we trust and we connect with, they might connect us to another friend and then they can become our friend too.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Kieran, you said you would like to try and get consistent with Instagram. That would be awesome. That's cool. Did you want to add anything else that you want to do?
I'm just trying to think. I think there's something else you said that I was thinking I might need to do, but now I've forgotten it. So probably, just try and get a little consistent on various platforms.
Yeah, awesome. Cool, guys. Well done. Pam's probably got pulled away in Jade, but we love you guys and we're glad that you're with us. So thank you guys for being here today. Oh, Pam's got an answer. I'm going to read your answer there, Pam. Interacting with others in our space, especially on LinkedIn. Yeah, I heard that you were working on that, so that's really cool. I love that you're going to go into that space because it's not something that I have investigated at all. So I can't wait to hear about your experiences on LinkedIn. Well, thank you guys for being here today. I want to remind you, as I do every week, that each of you have a superpower because of the season that you're in. When we face limits in life, where those limits are actually invitations into transforming ourselves into something even greater. And yes, we've got to figure out how to build dreams in the season of motherhood. But I really believe we're going to be better mums when we follow our desires and our passions because that's what lights us up. And our children get so much more from us when we are fully alive and we are excited about things. It doesn't have to be much, but sometimes we've got to educate the people around us about what we want to achieve and who we want to show up and be in the world. So, yeah, I believe that as we do that, we're going to be an inspiration and a blessing to our kids, our partners, our parents, our relationships. We're going to be something good for other people. Whatever you guys are facing in your parenting and in your business, why don't we just be women who look at those challenges and we say, we can rise, we can do this. And just so you know, we've been working on this Build a Personal Brand Challenge series for 6 weeks now. We've got 2 more weeks. It's live on Facebook and the replays are on YouTube. And I know that this has really helped our mum tribe grow so much in their personal branding and social media. And if you know that there are other mums in your world who you think this will be a perfect fit for, I'd just love for you to invite them and to join us, invite them to join us, invite them to to see what it is that they could learn for their own personal brands. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I can't wait to connect more. We do have another call soon, but yeah, love you guys and thank you so much. Bye.